Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the EWC, the Esports World Cup 2025 Global Qualifier. Here we go. We have returned, and already we have our first round of matches concluding, and now we have qualifying matches remaining. Here we go. From the upper side of the bracket, we have ByuN versus Ryung and Lambo versus Goblin. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We have a TvT and a PvZ ready for us. Of course, bearing in mind, this is a two-day event. If you're a fan of Lemon, Gabe, Estrella, and Gumiho, if you're a fan of some of these players that did get knocked down in the previous matches, do not worry. They're still in the qualifier, they're still in the tournament, and they will return tomorrow. They will return tomorrow for another chance to make it into the Esports World Cup. Tonight, though, we're focusing on the upper bracket, focusing on our winners, focusing on the upper bracket qualifying matches. Let's go. Two best of sevens ready for us, and our first should be the TvT, and this is going to be a wild one. If you remember, we started things off at the beginning of the broadcast, even actually last broadcast, we went over the bracket of EWC and we spoke about how there's a world where I can see Ryung qualifying, even though I would say that Ryung has weaker matchups, weaker TVPs and TVZs compared to ByuN and Gumiho. Specifically in TvT, this is where Ryung thrives. We just saw that against Gabe, and we have seen that in the past against ByuN as well. So I'm actually leaning towards Ryung here. Like again, in general, fun fact, Ryung, he didn't even qualify for GSL this season, or even last season. Season 1 and Season 2 of GSL, Ryung wasn't even a part of GSL. In general, I do think that ByuN is a more well-rounded player, but specifically TvT, this is where Ryung is at his best. This is where Ryung can take it to the best Terran players in the world. Remember, Ryung is the reason why Clem no longer plays TvT. Like he is one of the big reasons for that to happen. So again, this is where Ryung is one of the best in the world in TvT, if not the best in the world. ByuN, of course, can take maps, can take series, 100%. This can go either way. This can go either way is what I'm getting at. Even though on paper, I don't know if you look at like their League-like rating or something, like probably League-like places ByuN much higher than Ryung, but the reality is this is going to be much, much closer just because of the specific matchup here. Oh boy. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this does take place. Likewise, we have Lambo versus Goblin after this series as well, after this matchup. Let's go. As Vitas have concluded, of course, we did see the map order previously for this best of 7, and here we go, jumping to game 1. We're jumping on in. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Green Terran player, we have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Oh. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Terran player. We have the South Green Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Oh my god, as we open up with a proxy. ByuN, he does move out with the SCV, and the initial proxy max is upon us. So a bit of a cheekier build here by ByuN. ByuN going for one racks at home, 1 racks across the map. So there's going to be 2 racks Reaper here by ByuN. Meanwhile, Ryung, does he go for a safe opener? Does he go for a more aggressive start instead? SCV scout across the map. Interesting. SCV scouts are rare here amongst Korean Terran players. And he will miss the proxy. He'll get across the map, and he will see the racks as well. He will see the racks on the high ground. That will tell him it's going to be more of a standard opener. He's going for an economic start. He has single gas geyser. Ryung going for the CC on the low ground. And ByuN has potential to wreak havoc, to overwhelm, and to punish Ryung. Let's go. Let us go. Yo vivo el Paquito in the chat. Amiga, este Paquito. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. As always. Here we go. There we go. The Reapers are amassing. They're racing across the map again. Ryung, he's in the dark as to what's been going on. Does have the Marine, but he has to pull the boys. Touchable some boys here. Reapers, they do bust in. Ooh, but ByuN, he will lose his first Reaper. Trades 1-to-1. Does trade. Going for the Marine. Marine should go down as well. Yeah, Marine goes down. Factory, oh, is going to be delayed. As boys are being pulled, has to finish that factory. So far, the factory does complete. Yeah, it does complete, does finish up. SCVs, they hold their own. One of them is low, but I believe we haven't lost any workers here, so nice defense so far by Ryung. He needs that Hellion. The Hellion's on the way. But now we have 3 Reapers, and again, this is getting out of hand so far, so quickly. He takes down the Marine. Hellion has arrived. And the Hellion can try to hold on. We have to pull the boys, though. Boys have to be pulled. Hellion goes down, and that could just be game. That's just game then and there. Yeah, so much economic damage here. 3 SCVs, lost mining time. Again, losing that first Reaper was brutal, as Ryung was late to pull the boys. Second Hellion has arrived, but this is critical damage. As Ryung does clean up. Does try to hold on. We have another 2 oh god. He's going for the dive. Yeah, it takes out the Hellion. And that should be game. That should be game here. 8 SCV kills. Ryung down to 18. Behind this, of course, ByuN is expanding. ByuN getting his own natural up and running. You can see here so much less mining time as well. All the boys are pulled. And as a reminder, Ryung, he thought he was safe because the SCV scattered. He saw the racks. And he got caught out. He got caught out. Wasn't able to preserve his Hellion, to preserve his army. ByuN moving in for the kill. Again, there's 2 Marines and 1 Hellion to defend. Like, no shot. Second Hellion has arrived. Okay. Nice spread here from ByuN. Nice spread. Takes down the Hellion. Trades with the army. Gets another 5 SCVs. And he has double the worker count. Insane worker lead here for ByuN. Yeah, 14 SCV kills. And this is how you stop the tuna. Cheese him out, baby. Cheese him out. Get him. Oh my god. Ryung, calm down. Nice hold position micro. We get nice little moves here from Ryung as he takes on the Cyclone. But last behind this again, just a really rough start here for Ryung. He is miles behind economically. I'm now working towards mech. I mean, there's a chance that he can maybe turn this into an all-in. That'd be the best chance. Also, why do I keep seeing, I see MW calling Ryung Uncle Ryung. Ryung, he's like ByuN's age. Like, Ryung is 2 years older than ByuN. Ay, ay, ay. SMH my head. Here we go. As Raven does dip in. We'll delay some mining. Banshee's moving out. Again, Ryung, he's all in. Like he has to do critical damage with this. He has to snowball out of control. There are just so many Marines, though. Nice kiting here with the Banshees. Get a Marine. Cyclones will zone away. Yeah, they try to zone here, and one of the Banshees does fall. And the one chance that Ryung has here is if ByuN is overly greedy, if he overextends, if he pushes out on the map. Oh god, oh no. More economic damage. Not like this. Not like this. Cheddar beats the tuna. It does, it does. Walking onto the CC. Not quite able to bring it down. And it's one of those things where if ByuN is too passive, if he's too defensive, then maybe Ryung can recover in this game, getting into mech. But it's ByuN. Like, when no, ByuN being passive? No shot, back. No shot. Not the kind of player he is. Does catch the Banshee. And GG. GG gets called. I was a little bit concerned that we were just gonna try to play that out, but nah. Too much of a lead here. ByuN, he will take game number 1. Will take the initial lead in the series. GG. Does take a lead. Again, Ryung just had a really rough start. Winding it back here as to what happened. It was a 2-Rax Reaper by ByuN, but it was 1 Rax at home and 1 proxied across the map. And what had happened was that Ryung went for an SCV scout. He saw the Rax at home, so he assumed standard opener. He was like, oh, okay, you have a Rax back at home. Everything's normal. He didn't know that there was a 2nd Rax out on the map instead as well. And with that, he was able to, or ByuN was able to just double down with his aggression. We saw that Ryung, he lost his first Reaper. Losing the first Reaper that early on is brutal. You have to pull the boys. You have to pull the boys. You have to preserve your army and buy time for your Hellion. We saw that even though, yes, he bought time for the factory, he bought time for the Hellion, he had no support for the Hellion. So ByuN was just able to snowball from there. Just focus on the Hellion time and time again and just ensured that, alas, Ryung could not build up an army, could not build up a defense. And he just took too much damage. He lost 14 SCVs. Insane damage. Game-ending damage. GG. GG, well played. The game did basically end then and there. We saw that Ryung, he tried to play it out. He tried to go into Banshee and Macfield Accelerator Cyclones. But as we saw, like, ByuN, he was looking very solid here back at home. He was able to muster up his defenses. He wasn't cutting corners. He was working towards his bio army. And GG. GG, well played with that. ByuN does take a lead in the series, but I don't think game 1 really told us anything, to be honest. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2. And oh, let's go! Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Last Fantasy, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Vitality. A high Satuna Terran himself. It is Ryung. And spawning in the right-hand corner on the top side here of Last Fantasy, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. But again, I don't think game 1 really told us anything about the skill level of our players and how they compare to each other. Again, ByuN basically won with the initial 2 Racks. Meanwhile, we do see Ryung going for a double gas opener. Hello. Interesting. A tech-heavy start out of Ryung. Meanwhile, ByuN opening up economically. Okay, the turns have tabled, and instead Ryung should be the aggressor. Of course, welcome to Last Fantasy. This is the most vetoed map of the map pool, but of course in a best of 7 we have less vetoes, and we're able to embrace some of these otherwise unorthodox maps. Let's go. Let's go. Where was the... Just double checking here what the vetoes were actually. I would imagine torches, right? Yeah, so torches was the first veto. And the other was Ultra Love. Okay. Which are two of the smaller maps in the map pool. Makes sense. So we've gotten rid of torches, gotten rid of Ultra Love. Meanwhile, we can see the CC on the high ground for ByuN. So ByuN is going for the economic opener, but is going for a safer variation with the CC in the main. As Ryung, he's fully aware of the location of ByuN. Again, Ryung going for the delayed CC. Building up his Reaper Hellion. And we'll see what he can get done with this. Breaking forward. I believe ByuN is yet to be active. Now you can see that Ryung, he's still continuing Reaper Heli production, so he's just doubling down on Reaper Heli, and this kind of army early on doesn't really scale well into a longer game, but ideally has potential to get economic damage. That's the hope here for Ryung. Is to bust through, is to get some economic damage done, but we can see that ByuN's just been so safe with the CC. So safe with his command center. Both players getting to their own 1-1-1s. We'll see if we embrace mech at some point in the series. I'm sure we will. Could even see mech versus mech. Like ByuN, he does dabble in mech from time to time in TvT. But more often than not, he does enjoy his more marine heavy composition. We'll get there. Now you see Ryung diving in. Nice spread here from ByuN. Does minimize splash damage, and yeah, ByuN holds. ByuN he holds, he shuts down the army. Bit of defense here from ByuN. And Ryung does pull away. Both players building up their cyclones. And we're settling it. Now, when it comes to Lost Fantasy, when it comes to some of its big features here, the rush distance by ground is relatively short, true, but there are a lot of defensive avenues on the map, as we're just pointing out the air blockers. Does deny drop play. This is where ByuN typically thrives in TvT, is with his drop play. So it could be more difficult for him to really pop off and really rely on that here. But what I find more important are the choke points, right? There are a lot of small avenues of attack. There are a lot of these small ramps, narrow ramps as well. So we have seen players be quite successful at just turtling up. Oh, second star point, let's go! Yeah, going for a 2-port 2-base setup here from Ryung. Now, this is a more modern version of this. Traditionally, 2-port 2-base all-ins were quite common a year or two ago. They were quite common, and we see them quite a bit. The purpose is to go into mass Viking production into a Liberator and commit into an all-in, but this did begin with a Raven opener. So Raven, then into Viking, then into Liberator. Typically, with this version, I believe you do expand. I believe it is not an all-in. But it's still going to be a big prioritization of Vikings. So basically, Ryung, he will take air control, he will have the Viking lead. Meanwhile, ByuN going for a faster third command center instead. And the goal here for Ryung would be to hunt down the Ravens. To hunt down the Ravens, bully them back, and then of course take over the ground with his own Liberator. And again, we'll see if he expands. ByuN, of course, is the first to get his CC. Like, his CC is halfway done. Meanwhile, Ryung, he's just massing up more Vikings. More Vikings on the way. Ryung moving out. And again, this build can hit like a truck. Can hit quite hard. ByuN bypassing the main army. Scans, does confirm the CC, does confirm the Ravens. Is aware. Meanwhile, there's not much at the natural. Nice disable. Tank goes down. Takes down the first tank. Vikings move forward. Again, they're looking for the Ravens. We can see ByuN skirt around the left-hand side. Catching reinforcements as well. Very nice. Getting one, getting up. Gets two. Takes down two Vikings. And you can see ByuN hiding those Ravens. Again, he's just going to try to break out. He's hoping to mass disable. And here they come from the flank. Yeah, no counter disable. Boys are being pulled, and ByuN, he breaks out. ByuN, he will break out. Yeah, Ryung, he was out of position. Order target's going to be thrown down. The disables are, they're going to get cleaned up. They're going to get cleaned up here. But that's still 16 SCVs. That's still 16 workers falling. It was a decent fight for ByuN, but he's still contained. He's still stuck on two bases. The Liberator does push forward. Vikings are still looking for those Ravens, actually dropping on top of Stim. Too late. Yeah, a little bit too late though. That would have been a brutal pickoff, but last Stim does complete. Ravens are spotted. Ravens are spotted. Ryung trying to hunt them down. Liberator's repositioning. Gets a medevac. Does catch a medevac. We can see the Ravens coming in from behind. You can see them on the minimap. And ByuN once again trying to flank the army. Ryung once again out of position. Oh, nice disable. Disables one. Vikings, they land. Yeah, they land just in time. And it looks like Ryung, he should have enough here. He's trying to hold the line. Takes down the Marines. Takes down the SCVs. And he holds. Yeah, Ryung, he will hold the line here. Shuts down the ByuN army. Maintains its position. That was another 25 SCVs going down. And ByuN is all in. At this point, ByuN is all in. He's got half the work count of his opponent. Ryung is on 3 bases. And what does ByuN have? ByuN has tanks. True. He's got a lot of tanks. Oh, good. Ravens are hunted down. And tanks are good and all, but what about the Liberators? Yeah, Ryung, he's setting up. Lives, that's great. Yes, as we mentioned, that's the purpose of the 2-port build here that Ryung had gone for. As we mentioned, the purpose is to go into Mass Viking, then into Liberator. Is the purpose of the build. And there we go. ByuN, he does get behind the army, not bad. Getting into the mineral line, pushing in towards a third as well. Ryung going to be harassing. Drop is being cleaned up. At the same time, ByuN pushing in. Boys are being pulled. Damage is being done. Ryung not quite in position. And he will lose another 12 SCVs. Yeah, nice damage here from ByuN. Takes down up to 15 SCVs, going for +1, denying the upgrade. Yeah, Ryung not quite in position. Oh, does have in his main. Does have in the main base. Ryung is still up in economy. This is decent damage, but ByuN needs more. ByuN, he needs more damage here. Now moving in. This time though, Ryung's ready. Okay, there's a scan. ByuN forced back. And from here we're settling in. And from here we're calming down, we're settling in. We see Ryung, he does have to resaturate. Does rally over. And despite Ryung having a stronger start to this game, we're calming down. We're calming things down. ByuN is bouncing back. Getting to his bio tank. Of course, Ryung embracing mech. So we have a game. See, the income was in favor of Ryung for the most part. Okay, they still up 10 workers. ByuN has a more mobile army, and he's looking for a way in, but alas, Ryung, he's fully set up. It's also important here that Ryung was able to snipe both the Ravens earlier. So no extra Ravens here. ByuN setting up for a Doom Drop even. Okay. See him causing a distraction. Scan, I don't think saw the main army of ByuN. Now moving in. ByuN just poking in. He is spotted. And what's important here is that ByuN, he doesn't have to push into the bases. What he's doing is containing. He's just containing his opponents. Behind this, ByuN expands, gets a faster fourth. ByuN recovering economically. And that lead that Ryung once had is not really there anymore. We have more of a back and forth. I do still favor Ryung's main army. Like, if in a head-on fight, of course. In a head-on fight, Ryung can take it. For more disables. Ooh, miss rally out of Ryung. We'll lose a free Raven. Ay, ay, ay. goes down. Ryung establishing another base. All of his attention is here towards the south side. Meanwhile, towards the top side, does he have an army in position? Oh. Ryung stepping in. Gets 3 Vikings. Takes down 3 Vikings. Tanks on siege. Oh, and ByuN, he may have just done it here. Does push forward, but there's a line of tanks waiting for him. Never mind. There was a line of tanks. And Ryung holds. Ryung holds on, does take a supply lead. And we spoke about this at the start of the game here on Last Fantasy. You are very well defended here on 4 bases. There are just so many choke points. It's difficult to push into a defending player. So I don't really see ByuN breaking Ryung. Like, the map is helping Ryung in terms of defense, but going for the drop play. Dropping on top of the tank. Tank goes down, not bad. Snipes a Raven. Very opportunistic here from ByuN. Gets a Raven, gets another tank as well. We even focus on as many CVs as possible. Yeah, 13, 14 SCV kills. Ay. Oh, meanwhile, that's not a planetary. Uh-oh. Yeah, not a planetary here, so SCVs are falling. Ryung able to pull some counter damage, not bad. 9 SCV kills. Gets 9 SCVs and delays the expansion. The main armies are passing by each other. Ryung, he wants to be active. Helene does distract. Because of this, there's nothing at home to defend. ByuN, he's left open. He is left wide open. If Ryung wanted to, he could just walk into the main. He could just walk in. Yo, nice mule. Trying to block. Trying to buy some time. Last Bio army does stem in. Does rush past. And we're going for a pseudo base trade. Yeah, Ryung pushing into the main. Going for the kill at the same time, so is ByuN. Yeah, headed towards the bases. Denying the third. Takes down the expansion at the same time. We do see Ryung trying to push in. Nice stim. Yeah, catching out 3, 4 tanks. 4 tanks going down. Expensive losses here for Ryung. But at the same time, he's in the main. Ooh, losing Ravens. Losing Ravens, forcing friendly fire. More tanks going down. But Ryung, he might just have too much here. Yeah, just shutting down all the production. The boys have been pulled to repair. Let's go. The boys are here. Oh. Catching out Vikings. Miscontrol there, mismovement by Ryung. Okay. As the army stems in, but there's no stemming into this. Not like this. Bio army gets shut down. Boys are being pulled to repair. There's the siege. And Ryung, he's done a GG, gets called, he breaks the main base, and Ryung ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. Does tie the series up here. Again, a very intense back and forth. In general, Ryung, he had the lead for most of that game. He was able to cripple ByuN early on. Despite that, ByuN had a crazy comeback where he was able to pop off his drop play, get SCV kills, deny and delay the 4th base as well. Like, very aggressive, very active style there by ByuN. Unfortunately, we saw that Ryung, he still had the greater army, and he just snuck out across the map. He skirted around the edge. We saw that ByuN was distracted. He was out of position, and Ryung just went for the kill move. He just went for the kill move, went straight for the main base. Once he got into the main, that was GG. That was GG. Then and there, we saw that ByuN could not actually push back behind this, or could not push into the siege line, push into the tanks. It was still very intense and very intense, very chaotic game. But regardless, GG. GG well played. Ryung does fight back. Let's go. Again, Ryung, he just wants to get into the mid game, pappy. Oh my god. That's all he needs. Of course, it was a cheeky build initially, going for the 2 racks, going for the 2-port opener. Going 2-port into the Mass Viking. And with that, he was able to shut ByuN down. But now we have a tied series. We have a tied series here, and we'll see who can take a lead. Who can get ahead. That draw play and worker damage was insane by ByuN. It was insane. It wasn't enough to do enough damage. Like, it didn't do enough damage, but it was insane nonetheless. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the blue Terran player. For Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. Oh, we're moving out with the. Oh, we're proxying. In the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran for Team Vitality. It is Ryung. And I feel like this is like the best way to beat Ryung is to cheese him out, right? It's what ByuN went for in game 1. Here in game 2, this time it's more committed. Remember in game 1, it was 1 Rax at home, 1 proxied. Here, double proxy Rax. Here we have 2 SCVs, should be for 2 Raxes. There we go, second Rax is on the way. So this is much more committed, much more dedicated from ByuN. And I do like this on these larger maps. Again, remember, this is a larger map in the map pool. Welcome to Incorporeal. The chances of Ryung opening up in a more greedy fashion is much higher here to go for a faster CC. As we can see here, single gas out of Ryung, he is going for a faster command center. Or he's hoping to. Is going for the SCV scout. The SCV scout will let him know, of course, that the Rax is missing. But so far, things are looking better for ByuN. As the Reapers are on the way. SCV scout does confirm. Yep, does get eyes on the missing Rax and on the second gas. So Ryung knows. Yeah, he knows. You can see he's setting up at the high ground. Bunker on the way. Is taking this seriously. Yep, going factory first at Rax into a delayed factory, but a factory nonetheless. Bunker's on the way. And ByuN, he knows he got scouted. Oh, kills the SCV. Does snipe the scouting SCV. You can see Ryung, he does pre-pull the boys, but the bunker is now done. Ryung is holding. ByuN, he tries to sneak by. Quick moves there by Ryung. Does keep up, does zone away. So far so good. Helium production has begun. And we can see if ByuN can try to force his way through. Oh yeah, going for the dive. It does rush past, but alas does not get the Reaper. Not this time. Nice defense here by Ryung. He shuts down the aggression. CC's on the way, and Ryung takes a lead. Ryung does take a lead. Is working towards his command center. Meanwhile, we can see that ByuN, he's flying back home. The proxy has failed, but he still has the army, still has potential. There we go, CC on location. And ByuN has some catching up to do. Ooh, meanwhile, ByuN going into mech. I mean, it makes sense. ByuN, he's in a worse position here, so he's going towards a mech for accelerators. ByuN is going to mech it up. And again, we have seen ByuN play mech before, specifically in TvT, and against in TvZ as well, true. Has been playing a little more mech as of late. In multiple matchups. But again, he's hoping to try to catch Ryung off guard. Meanwhile, Ryung, speaking of, is going for his own counter drop. Medevac is on the way. And if he's not careful, he might get caught out. We'll see who catches who. So here comes the CC. Moving out is going to be spotted by the Zelnaga. And Ryung, he knows he got scattered. Knows he got scattered. Third CC is on the way. ByuN massing up more Cyclones. Meanwhile, Ryung switching into tanks and Ravens. The game is slowing down. Both players are going to be expanding, despite the fact that ByuN, he wasn't quite able to do much damage with his initial proxy. Like, we are getting into a longer game. Getting into a longer game state. Ryung, I assume, was going to be mech versus mech, but no, Ryung is going into ByuN, going into a second Rax and towards Stim. Likewise, Cyclone drop into the main. And with good enough control, should be... Oh, never mind. Oh my god, it gets shut down. Trades 1-to-1, and the medevac does boost away in time. Whew. So they trade Cyclones, gets 2 SCVs. Medevac into the main base, does get a full scout, does confirm the Rax is okay. So despite the Macville Accelerator opener, ByuN is going into ByuN. It is going to be more delayed though, so it also shows just how far behind he is. Like, he has a later third base and later stim, and slightly later upgrades, so Ryung is slightly ahead in terms of upgrades, in terms of economy. Ryung has that slight lead. We'll see if ByuN can recover. Hunting down the medevac. So now the game is slowing down. No mech from anyone. Let's go. ByuN tank versus ByuN tank. ByuN going to be threatening a Cyclone drop towards the natural. There is a turret and somewhat of an army in position. So how the game is slowing down. ByuN is being active on the map, but he's not going all in by any means. He's expanding, getting a third base. Third base is on the way. Fourth base is being thrown down on location for ByuN as well. So ByuN is expanding. He's looking for a way in though. Ryung is out of position. Uh-oh. And ByuN's going right in. Yeah, ByuN, he's just walking right up the ramp in towards the natural. Ryung completely out of position here, racing back home. Does race back. Oh, does make it home in time. Does make it back, does deflect. 2 upgrades are on the way from the side of Ryung. Oh, the armory still in production here for ByuN. Still wait for the armory. Ryung getting supply blocked. So they have their back and forth. At the end of the day, despite these small leads or the small differences between the two players, it comes down to positional play. Just comes down to positional play. Who's able to catch out who's able to siege first in a main fight. Will anyone be caught out of position? And to be fair, this is where Ryung excels. Like Ryung, he does excel in this kind of more positional play kind of setup. It's one of the reasons why he has some of the best, if not the best, TvT in the world. ByuN, something unique to him though, is a much more marine heavy and medevac heavy style. Basically, ByuN is very fond of skipping Vikings. He just skips Vikings, goes into mass medevac, mass marine, and goes for a lot of drop play. It's typically where ByuN excels. He's one that doesn't often really fight for air control. And peeling off, going for his drop. Going for a Doom drop even. Jesus. Army gets spotted. The armies, they pass by each other. Ryung, what does he have at home to defend? Does scan. I'm hoping that Ryung has a siege line. No siege line here, just the one tank. Base is going to go down, massive pickoff, CC will fall. At the same time, Ryung, he's going for the base of ByuN, but ByuN is in position. Yeah, ByuN, he's ready. He does that position. Ryung takes down the CC, going into the main. And again, this is what ByuN is best at, just going for these big Doom drops, these big bio counter attacks. Goes into the main base, is going to be forced out. But solid damage nonetheless. Like, this drop was worth it, and it's still going. Yeah, still going strong. Ryung, he does 0 damage across the map. Gets like a tank here or there. Oof. Yeah, running into a siege line. He's trying to force his way in, but he shouldn't be able to. He shouldn't be able to. Gets a tank. Once again, trying to rotate, but here defensively, like ByuN, he's able to keep up with the rotations. There's no way up these ramps. Once again, peels up for another Doom drop. Ryung does not spot this. Oh. Saves his tanks. Gets the hell out of there. Now, on the one hand, ByuN, he was able to get a base, he was able to get a mineral line, but Ryung is recovering. Ryung, he's slowly recovering. ByuN still has the lead. And because he was able to be so efficient, he's building up a bank. Right, so ByuN has the bank, Ryung less so. Army's looking for a way in. And this time Ryung is ready for the Doom drop, but he will deflect. Likewise, he defends the ramp, okay. Better couple of moments here for Ryung. A stims in, chases down the drop. Punishing ByuN. He's slowly pushing forward. Yeah, he's gaining ground. Catching out these tanks. Nicely done. Gets 1, 2, 3 tanks. Ryung having a hard time with this rotation. Likewise, ByuN just rallying everything across the map. He sees an opening. He's going for it. He's trying to go for it. Liberator has arrived. Liberation is here. ByuN stims in. Oh god, pushes into the tank. Oh god, that was not worth it. ByuN bleeding out a lot of Marines there. That was not worth it at all. With that, Ryung holds, takes a better fight. Okay, Ryung, he's back in this. Unironically, back in this game. Going for his own counterattack. Will kill a free CC. ByuN going for another counter drop. Oh. Once again, Ryung out of position. Racing back home. Nice disables. Very nice disables. Takes down the tanks. ByuN's going to be cleaned up, but not without losing, not without gaining more tanks. Yeah, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, god. Man with gun is pretty good. It's pretty good here. Ryung caught on siege, so we do have a back and forth. Ryung killed the base, true, but ByuN killed the siege line. There we go. Six tanks, crazy damage. Six tanks went down. ByuN can go right down mid, right through the center. Tank count is low now for Ryung. Down to 3 tanks. That should not be enough. Yeah, 3 tanks should not be enough here. Yeah, it just comes down to the tank line, takes out another, down to 2 tanks left. Oh, there's 1 tank here at the natural. Raven goes down. Oh, we do see Ryung going for the counterattack. Okay, also pushing right down mid. Does push down the center. Headed towards the main. Stays out of range of the tanks. Pushing into the expansion. There's a tank. Nice disable. Very nice. But a second tank has arrived, and it looks like there's barely not enough bio here. Oh, gets a tank. Takes down both. Okay. The back and forth continues. Still trading. We're getting scrappy. We're getting very scrappy here. As Ryung does came with the production, finally cleaned up. Ryung does have the larger army. Meanwhile, ByuN has more CVs. Like at this one, we're just yellowing like drops across the map. Like when there's no finesse here, Pappy. No. We just see what we can get done. Gets a tank. ByuN takes down the tank. Production's neck and neck here. ByuN does find a free tank. Both players re-expanding. Ryung getting a 5th base. ByuN getting a stick. Tank is late to siege, but likewise, ByuN not quite in position. Not quite. Once again, he rotates. Once again, Ryung not where he needs to be. I mean, this just comes down to the supply. The drop play has potential, but now ByuN has a planetary. And nice disables. ByuN stems in. Should break through, even despite the anti-armor missile. It's getting quite close. Did buy enough time, not bad. ByuN catching reinforcements. Oh god, runs into a planetary. Trying to focus it down. It's gonna be a brutal trade. Does get it. Not bad. Gets the planetary just barely. That did cost a lot of Marines though. A lot of Marines went down. Not the most worth it.
This better be good.
And again, Ryung just barely not keeping up. He's still down 20 SCVs. Has been down at base for quite some time. ByuN still looking for a way in. Sends forward into a siege line. Nice disable. Yeah, very nice setup. Likewise, counter anti-armor missile. Ryung buying time. Again, Ryung, he's just buying time for extra tanks. We do see a starports transition here from ByuN. Okay, from here going to Liberators, or even into BCs. We'll see if the game lasts that long. Yeah, ByuN going for the kill. There's no more tanks behind this for Ryung. And ByuN should have enough. Does catch all the SCVs. Chasing down the CC as well. From here, can just head towards the planetary. And Ryung, he cannot save this. Not like this. Yeah, the siege line is brutal. And ByuN has finally done it. It was a pretty chaotic back and forth here. But for the most part, Ryung, like, he was still down an entire expansion, down a base, down a mineral line. He has some decent counterattacks, but alas, not quite enough. Getting caught out, getting surrounded. With that, GG gets called. ByuN does snowball out of control, and ByuN will take a lead in the series. Whew, GG. Remember, this started with a proxy, by the way. Did begin with a proxy, did begin with ByuN across the map with the proxy 2 racks. With that, he was able to overwhelm, or I say able to overwhelm. We had an interesting back and forth early on with Ryung holding, with Ryung defending, but then it came down to the drop play. Again, that is where ByuN excels in this matchup, and that's where some maps are a little bit more open here, like Incorporeal, where you can pop over that drop play, you can get across the map, get into bases unscouted. There are certain maps where this is more difficult to pull off on, maps like Tokamak, for example, but here on Incorporeal, it's a little bit more, the bases are more spread out, a little bit more accessible, and with that, ByuN does thrive. GG well played, does pull Ryung apart. Ryung had some nice counterattacks himself when it came to run buys as well, able to also get into the main base, but nowhere near as much damage as ByuN. GG well played. With that, ByuN takes the lead. ByuN does take a lead, and we'll see if Ryung can recover. Once again, I feel like a lot of this will come down to what kind of maps we load into. Up next, we're going to be loading into Persephone. Ooh, one of the smaller maps in the map pool. I say one of the smaller maps. What's important, because there are so few bases and because the bases are so centralized on Persephone, so many of them are so close together, we actually see a lot of split map play. We see a lot of like late game split map scenario, cut the map in half and mine out the map as well. We could get there, assuming that ByuN doesn't proxy again. We'll see. We go. TvT is the only mirror I like to watch. Anyone else find the same? It's just more interesting. I personally, I mean, for me, I enjoy all mirror matchups. Personally, there are certain instances of each mirror matchup that are less enjoyable than others. For sure, but we'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom hand corner here of Persephone, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself. We have the South Korean Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. But yeah, I think there are definitely stale metas or like stale instances of ZVZ, TvT, and PvP, and that's probably what I dislike the most. As we're moving out with an SCV, let's go. Hello, ByuN. It looks like we're opening up 2 racks Reaper. As we have 1 racks at home, and the other SCV is looking very suspicious. Yep, setting up the 2nd racks. So this is the same build that we saw in game 1, if you recall. So this is a proxy 2 racks Reaper, but only 1 is being proxied across the map. The goal here is to try to catch your opponent off guard. Ryung has been going for a lot of SCV scouts this series, and because of those SCV scouts, at times he does feel safer than he otherwise really is. As here comes the SCV, he will not scout the proxy, he'll move out across the map, and that'll tell him that the rack is at home. That'll tell him it's a standard opener when we know it's anything but. So a cheeky build here by ByuN. But yeah, when it comes to mirror matchups, PvP can get stale, especially amongst like European Protoss players. If we get into like the mid game, like there are instances, a lot of them actually, of PvP where it's like no rush 10 minutes. Like you get your natural, you get your 3rd base, you go into a blink based opener, into like 3 base blink, and that's like a little more stale and a little more, yeah, not really what I'm into. Likewise, it's similar in ZVZ where you get into like a hatch gas pool, Ling Bane, into 3rd base, into just Roach versus Roach, or even TvT when it comes to like stalemates, like tank versus tank lines as well. There are like instances where like those 3 scenarios occur, but there are others where it's a little more dynamic, a little more intense. That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. That's all we want. Meanwhile, good read here by Ryung. The boys are pre-pulled. He's set up on the high ground, and he will shut down the first Reaper. Ooh, nice snipe. Gets 1. Takes down the first Reaper. Better start here for Ryung. Likewise, Factory on the high ground. CC on the high ground as well. That's what's important here. So, economic opener out of Ryung with a CC that is safe. Does read this well. Again, full V1 sort of thing. Where this worked wonders in game 1, lesser here in game 4. As ByuN does float in. Behind this ByuN, he of course does back off. He pulls back home, getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. Now, because ByuN had a faster factory, it does mean that he has a faster start board, so we can go for faster drop play. Once again, it does open up Magfield accelerators, which means he's going for a Cyclone drop. So Cyclone drop follow up here by ByuN. This does not mean mech. Like, this can still lead into second racks, into bio play. So our eyes are on ByuN. As the Medivac is in production. Again, we're just waiting for the Medivac. Waiting for the Cyclones to push. Likewise, ByuN currently is unaware. Just saturating is natural. Again, Ryung does have the economic lead or the economic edge over his opponent. Getting to his own Raven opener. And when it comes to what we're looking for here for ByuN, we're looking for either workers, cyclones, the Raven potential, right? He could even snipe the Raven. That would be ideal. As that Magfield accelerators is about to complete. So far, Ryung, he does defend the main. Reapers into the natural. He's holding his own. Breaks the lock on. Tank has arrived, and with the arrival of the tank, he should hold. Ryung, he should not be broken here. Oh no! Oh, the Raven! Yeah, Raven does overextend, and oh, brutal pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. And that's all that ByuN wanted. Massive pickoff here. Takes down the Raven. Takes down a Cyclone. Takes down 2 Cyclones as well. Again, Ryung, he was holding. He was in a good position, but he overextended. He pushed a little bit too far out of range of his tank. Liberator into the main, and this is just a really rough start here for Ryung. Leading out more SCVs. And this might just be too much. Yeah, Liberator into the main. Remember, Ryung, he had Liberators. He had Cyclones. But he lost them. Lost them earlier to his opponent. So limited anti-air. And you can see everything just very quickly snowball out of control. Lost the Cyclones, no anti-air. Liberator pops off. Another Raven loses 2 Ravens. Oh, God. That's a brutal loss there for Ryung. Losing both Cyclones and both Ravens. Ryung, he does defend, but ByuN has a solid start. Ryung trying to get a 3rd CC. Behind this is going to mech this time, is going for extra factories. From here, Ryung, he can recover, true. Playing mech, he does have a more efficient army. He can slowly get a 3rd base, set up here back at home, turtle up as well. I did mention earlier that Persephone is one of those maps where we do often see split maps play, where you can just cut the map in half and slow the game down. That could be what we're working towards, for sure. Could be what's in store for us. He's slowly breaking out. ByuN is already on 3 CCs. He's already mining. Another Liberator here on the right hand side. Again, anti-air is very limited for Ryung, as I believe he hasn't made any Cyclones. He's just been rebuilding his tanks. Yeah, so 2 Vikings. Once again, there are brutal losses here for Ryung. Now can he still take this game? For sure. Like, he's playing mech back. If ByuN takes a bad fight, if ByuN pushes too far in, speaking of, does get a tank. Likewise, ByuN dropping in the army, does trade 1-to-1. Likewise, dropping into the natural. But once again, anti-air is so limited here. Vikings, they respond. Catching up the main army. SCVs are still going down. Getting 10 workers in total. And you see ByuN trying to get within range of the CC. Ooh, gets within range of a tank. Tank goes down. Tanks, yep, now within range. Ryung in a rough position, just waiting for his Liberator. From here, the tank blows are brutal, going for the CC. Oh. The Liberator has arrived. ByuN, he rotates over. There's not much about these tanks. He can just stim in. Yeah, he can just stim and win. Goes through the Hellions, gets on top of the tanks, gets 1, 2, 3 tanks go down, getting up to all 4. And Ryung just getting pulled apart again. It was just a rough start for Ryung from the beginning. Losing too much to the Cyclones. Cyclones, they're pretty good. Oh, that's a kill. No, that's a kill, not a cancel. Another lift. CC goes down. Oh, God. Terrans, look away. Look away, back. And the chances here for Ryung to try to turtle out of this, it's not looking too good. Not anymore. There was an opportunity earlier, and there still is like a slim chance where he can try to slowly get a 4th base, but he has no map presence. He can't really move out. He can't really threaten a push. ByuN is far enough ahead where he can take some inefficient fights and just stim in and just trade with the tanks. Catching out the attempted Hellion run by. And ByuN looking for a way in. Keeping drawing his attention here on the ByuN army. You are drop on the right hand side. Does boost forward. Rushes into the natural. Gets another tank. Just the one. And TvT wants to try to catch the army on siege. Speaking of, does catch it on siege. Takes out the tank line. Yeah, and ByuN has done it. Since forward, takes down all the tanks, heads towards the natural. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take a 3-1 lead in the series. Whew, GG. Does take a lead. Once again, a cheeky start here by ByuN, opening up with Macville accelerators, and again, he achieves so much damage with his initial double cyclone with the Macville accelerator timing. It was brutal. He caught 2 cyclones, he caught 2 ravens as well. Like, it was brutal seeing both ravens go down at the start of the game. It did mean, of course, that Ryung, he just had a weaker setup getting ready for his own 3rd base. Getting into the mid game, he lost far too much. There was opportunities to maybe try to turtle and recover. He was down, I want to say, like 10-ish workers, but he was just torn apart by the drop play. The drop play, which is, it just got out of hand. Cyclones into the mineral lines, Marines into the mineral lines. far too much damage. GG, well played. With that, ByuN does take a lead, and ByuN is one game away from qualifying for the Esports World Cup. Ryung, the pressure is on. And again, Ryung, like we've seen him take maps and take series off of ByuN in the past. He just needs a cleaner early game here. A cleaner early game, needs to settle in towards the mid game as well. Instead of falling behind and playing catch up, which has been the case for the past couple of games here, is the early game damage has been brutal, has been critical, has been enough for ByuN to take a lead and to maintain that lead as well. That's enough to maintain. And we'll see if Ryung can bounce back. Up next, what map are we going to be loading into? That is the question. Persephone. Okay, sorry, we just had Persephone. Tokamak. Okay, Tokamak is going to be coming up next. This is a map where I do favor Ryung on. I feel like this would be probably a good map for a proxy 2 racks, but here we go. Jumping in. As spawning in the right hand corner here of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. And here come the SCVs. And again, I do think this is a good map for this, just because this is the most defensive map in the map pool. I feel like Ryung, his goal here is going to be to, of course, get into a greater economy, is to get into the mid game in a better position. As ByuN throws down the racks. So once again, 2 racks Reaper here by ByuN. And the pressure is going to be on ByuN to find some damage in the early game. I see we'll be massing up those Reapers once again. And just like last time, the follow-up should be Cyclones and should be Magfield Accelerators. Now the Reaper's going to be amassing. Ryung does go for an economic start. He does open up with a single gas geyser. With his SCV scout, this will, I mean, he'll see the racks, of course. That will prompt him, that should prompt him to expand. Checks the CC. Goes further in, checks the gases. Does confirm both gases have been taken, so he knows it is not an economic opener. And there it is, factory first. So good read here by Ryung. Good read. Does read this well. Is where the aggression's coming his way. So he's playing safe. Yeah, does look to play safe, does pull a couple of boys. So far he's holding onto the ramp, defending well. Does defend, does deflect. CC's on the way on the high ground. And so far so good. No major losses, just mining time. So he almost goes down. ByuN expanding back at home. Rallies in more Reapers. Gets an SCV. Gets one. I say gets one, gets 2 SCVs. Takes out the Hellion as well. Ooh, he does overwhelm the Reapers. They barely do survive. Better control there from ByuN. And preserves his Reapers. Doesn't quite go further in. He could have. There's nothing here. There's nothing. He could have gone more SCVs. He could have potentially ended the game. But ByuN, he backs off. He doesn't risk it. Again, there was nothing here. there was nothing to defend. You see Ryung fighting hard here to break out. And this might still just end the game anyway. Yeah, it takes down the Hellion, takes down the Marine. And GG gets called. ByuN, once again, he overwhelms with the proxy racks. And ByuN, he will qualify for the Esports World Cup. GG. Ooh, oh my god. GG, well played once again. ByuN able to catch Ryung with his pants down. Almost non-stop proxy Reapers this series. almost non-stop. As we mentioned, like Ryung, he thrives in the mid game, he thrives in the late game, he thrives in a more standard game state, but alas, ByuN able to punish him early on. When it comes to the initial setup here, going into the proxy 2 ranks Reaper here, the goal is to snipe and focus down those initial Hellions and Reapers. Was able to overwhelm just barely. Ryung was playing safe on the high ground at least, but he was not able to save his units. He was a little bit too far out, he got caught. GG well played. Once you start losing those initial Reapers and Hellions, everything very quickly snowballs out of control. GG well played. So congratulations here, ByuN. He would cheese Ryung the hell out. Which, good call. Like, good call here. Especially on Tokamak as well, 100%. Does cheese him out, and with that, will make it through into the Esports World Cup. If you're a fan of Ryung, do not worry. He will have another chance to make it through from the lower bracket. He's going to be knocked down to lower bracket instead, so best of luck to Ryung, as he'll have his chance tomorrow to recover. Meanwhile, we have one series left in this broadcast. We still have more broadcasts after this, of course. Oh my god. We still have another match remaining, though. Going to be another qualifying match, best of 7 between Lambo and Goblin. This is going to be a rematch, of course. These two, they did face off in the European qualifier. Goblin did take down Lambo previously. We'll see if we can do it again. We'll see if Lambo can get his revenge. For now, we're going to be going on a break. We'll come back soon with that final best of 7. See you soon.